Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rob Spiewak. Take it away, Rob.
At defensive tackle, number 95, Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson.
I'm over here now.
Thank you. But do any of you know how a man can hurt inside? That's not for you,
They're
Frank.
here for Weird Al Yankovic.
Weird Al Yankovic is on the plane.
Bingo.
Kennedy's in studio. That's why we're quoting the Naked Gun. Hey, girl.
Hey, Jim.
So exciting. So much of our friendship, people who listen regularly know this, is predicated on our love of the Naked Gun.
Absolutely.
We love the Naked Gun. We
Yep.
love America. You know we don't love as Americans, by the way? I'm just going to cut right to the chase.
AOC.
Oh, man. All right. So listen. We both feel the same way about AOC, but there's also this good thing happening, which is she got muscled out of her oversight position, which we have to get into. Okay, but I'm also mad at Mike Johnson. I mean, the spending thing is garbage.
Disgusting.
It's so gross, and you know this, okay? I don't think there's anyone who works in media that Thomas Massey loves more than you. Would you say that's
Yes, I would say I would concur.
It's fair. It's almost an unhealthy amount of love he has for you. And I have watched him say to you over the course of almost a decade, they do this every year the week of Christmas.
Yes.
Well, you know, everybody
It's like
wants...
under the cloak of night when no one's paying attention, and it is bullspit.
Everybody in Washington wants to go home. So they're like, hey, you know, if you just vote for this, you can go home.
Leave. Go ahead.
I mean, of course, you don't vote for it. We could write a new one, but your family's got to come here for Christmas.
That's like what the captors in Vietnam prison camps did to the BOWs.
Mm-hmm. Play along.
Yeah.
Okay. Jane Fonda has endorsed Mike Johnson.
Hanoi Jane.
Johnson Jane. She's
Yeah.
like, yes.
So I don't know if Johnson has firmly planted his head so far up Trump's keister that I think he's gotten so full of himself. He's like, oh no, I'm with Trump now.
Yeah.
But he doesn't realize that Trump is a very shrewd operator, and he's not going to back a loser.
Yeah.
And so if Johnson loses faith in his caucus, you know, it's like, I've lost faith in a caucus or two.
Hey, girl.
And then it's time to pull out.
They got to pull. They got to pill for that. But it's true. And they're trying to justify this as, and this is my favorite part. He's like, well, you know, we only control a third of this thing right now. The Democrats have the presidency. The Democrats have the Senate, which means it would be on them to shut down the government, not you. You could send over whatever the hell budget and spending you want. Okay, you don't have, well, because they do control, we're just going to give them everything on earth they want in a 1,500-page bill and call it a day.
1,500 pages. Even Elon took a picture of that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this is what it's what they're giving you.
Thank you. And they're trying to justify this as the, well, we're going on a diet Monday, so we can eat everything now.
No,
okay?
that's
what they're doing.
You're putting yourself at a disadvantage
of course.
if you do that.
But that's what, I played the soundbite earlier. He's like, well, we know Trump's coming in with his majority in January, so what we're going to do now is their way. I'm like, what do you mean their way? That's
Yeah.
not, that's
you
not what
are
we voted
they.
for. He is they. He is 100%. It's like the swampiest S I've ever seen.
Disgusting.
So that got me worked up. Top of the show today. A guy like me isn't really worked up on
Even
the air.
Kevin McCarthy wouldn't do this.
Come on, get McCarthy back in here.
Where's McCarthy? Does
Does McCarthy go on Gates' Newsmax show? How does this work? Somewhere at Gates Booker.
Only to take a tinkle on the set on live TV. That's the only way he'd do it.
I love it. Well,
I watched these two fight on CNN at the RNC, and it was delicious. It was like a popcorn moment because McCarthy was being interviewed. Gates came over, and then McCarthy's like, "Oh yeah, you still like sleeping with young girls?" And they were going back and forth. I was like,
Woo!
This is a political blood sport.
I once heard a comic say on stage, might have been at the Patriot Awards, somebody needs to tell Matt Gaetz the policy is no child left behind, not no child from behind. Come on, everybody!
Come on, Jim!
All right, Jimmy, come
You're not
on!
supposed to do that, Jim!
Come on! Holy hell! Kennedy's in studio. We're having a nice time. So, by the way, I'm laughing. Somebody told me they were listening to the Brian Kilmeade show the other day, and it got particularly risque on Monday. I had no idea what they were talking about. I'm like, wow, what's old Kilmeade up to? And they're like, no,
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Kilmeade likes to work blue when he's not there.
When he's not there. So funny. But someone said that to me yesterday. Like, yeah, I was listening to Kill Me the other. Wow, that got racy, huh? Yeah. I was like, what was he talking about? The spending bill? I was like, no, you. And I was like,
oh, what? Oh my gosh! Look, my delivery's here. I got to go downstairs and get my Chick-fil-A.
I'll tell you, this phone connection's really bad. Let's try this conversation over again tomorrow.
Oh my God! Speaking of which, you know when the people bombard you on the street and they're asking for money, and they're obviously like younger people working together, working a corner, trying to stop you. And sometimes they go, okay, I have a trivia question for you. And everyone goes, oh, I like trivia. And then they just try and shake you down. Every time I see them, I put my cell phone in my head and go, hello, Mom, how's China? And they just leave you alone.
I know exactly who they are. It's one of the scourges of New York, okay? If you're not getting, like, pickpocketed by a migrant, you have a person who will come up to you and be like, I like your scarf. Do you have a minute for the environment?
Do you have a minute? Yeah.
Shut up.
I don't. No, go away. So you know what the tour manager does?
Give it to me.
Because he looks like a businessman. And he goes, I donated $5 million to your charity last year. The one caveat was they could no longer have people on the street annoying passersby. I am taking my money. And they're like, really? It's like, yes, $5 million I gave.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Dare you? Well, we're laughing. Kennedy's in studio. The AOC thing, I love it so much because what it really is obviously Pelosi killed this, which is great. Mm-hmm. And it's to their credit, because Pelosi's as big of a dingbat as we have in Washington. And she is guilty of everything they accuse her of being guilty of. And that being said, these people want power, and they realize the avenue back to power is not through the far left progressive wing of the party.
No, that's dead.
Yeah, but that's why she's out.
That's like the poop on the sidewalk wing. It's like, if you're good with poop on the sidewalks, keep voting progressive. And everyone's like, no, kind of over it.
I got to tell you.
Seemed like fun, and then...
Think about this. If you're like AOC, people don't like stepping in gum.
Yeah.
Now imagine you're trying to get something else off your shoe. But that's what they did. And it's funny because that is why she's not going to be in the oversight position, because they recognize they can't have these people anywhere in a position of prominence.
Yes.
Because,
or near the purse strings. Like,
imagine.
The limited government politicians are spending too much money.
Yeah.
But these commies who think that you can just keep printing it, they're the downfall of this country.
Yeah. They actually destroy the country. And we're on an unsustainable trajectory. That's why the people like rooting for Doge, they understand there's going to be a lot of human shields, and a lot of them are going to be in the Republican Party. That's what this omnibus bill really is proof of. It's, people talk a very good game, but it's like Obamacare. Okay, Trump made Obamacare his first domestic priority because for 8 years, they all ran and fundraised on repeal and replace Obamacare. Then he got in there like, well, we don't have a plan.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Oh, there's a replace part?
Wait,
no.
What do you mean here?
Gross.
And what's funny is obviously everybody remembers McCain famously shooting it down as the last vote. But if he had passed it, we wouldn't have gotten better health care.
No.
It was a garbage plan because they didn't have one. So in a roundabout way, he did you a favor anyway.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, McCain. But it didn't matter because it was a garbage plan that they were putting forth. It was basically the same thing, but was giving them the ability to say they legislatively got rid of Obamacare, which is garbage.
It is garbage.
But that's most of Washington.
Yes.
Now Doge is coming and they're going to cut the budget. But
just
first.
cut everything with giant garden shears. Just snip, snip, snip.
Yeah, I'll give you one, okay?
C4. Just blow it all up.
Okay.
Theoretically, not actually blow it up.
So 3 fighter pilots get shot down and captured by a tribe of cannibals. Okay, none of them are related to Joe Biden.
I was just going to say.
This is not an Uncle Bosie story.
This is my uncle. Yeah. His leg was eaten off by cannibals.
Ride along if you know this one. Because this is D.C. in a nutshell. Okay, three fighter pilots flying along. They get shot down, captured by a tribe of cannibals. The cannibals go, all right, we are going to kill you and eat you. Before we do, you have 2 options, death or Oingo Boingo. Of course, the guy's like, geez, I don't want to die. I'll take Oingo Boingo. So they start chanting Oingo Boingo, pull the guy's pants down, and every tribal leader does him in the butt. Then they kill him, and eat him. Okay. Second guy. Okay. Goes, eesh. That looked horrible. They're just going to kill out death. And of course, the tribe leader goes, death it is. But first, oingo boingo. And that's Washington. You're getting the oingo boingo either way you slice it.
Either way, coming and going.
Yeah, I want the spending cuts. Spending cuts it is. But first, oingo boingo.
Yeah, we're really going to give it to you.
And that's Mike Johnson. And it's I'm so mad because this is the thing, man. And it's like if people don't read the tea leaves, because he was saying, he's like, well, I've talked to Elon. I don't doubt that he has. Elon tweeted a picture of the bill, said it was gross, and also tweeted it shouldn't pass.
Yes.
And there's a reason Mike Johnson is photobombing those group shots on the plane. It's because he wasn't invited to be in them. You know what I mean? It's like Trump's eating a Big Mac with RFK Jr. Oh, and Elon is there and Trump Jr. is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like, where's Waldo or Forrest Gump? He just sort of pops in everywhere.
Yeah, just kind of, you know what I mean? And there's a reason, okay? Because he is that other thing. And they have to know that. I would hope they know that. Because I can't.
So he's like the Brittany Mahomes in Taylor Swift's posse.
He gets into the luxury box, but nobody wants him there.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, how about it? No. And
Yeah, Blake Live was like, oh my God, why is she here again?
I don't want to be thin with her.
Jeez.
I don't want to be
so many kids.
Think about this. RFK Jr. would rather be seen with a Big Mac than Mike Johnson. The guy who made his name doing one-arm pull-ups would rather be eating fries on camera than hanging out with Mike Johnson. But that's a scam. That's where we are. So it's going to be interesting because there is this, thing. We have a new, administration coming to Washington and blah, blah, blah.
A lot of blah, blah, blah.
A lot of blah, 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 because this is the tell. This mattered because every excuse they're giving you, and I understand it'll fly, because at the end of the day, Republicans go, well, we don't want to, hold the American people hostage over the holiday season, the government workers. But I think we've seen this before. Yeah. I mean, the only time they stop suspending money is if the government's shut down.
Oh, I would love for the government to shut down.
Shut it down.
I mean, that's the paralysis is the best thing. So hopefully Doge will come in. I hope it makes a lot of people nervous. I hope they do what they say they're going to do. I think it's great that they have billionaires who don't care and are not beholden to anyone.
And they don't have to run. That's the thing. That's Elon, the superpower here.
The federal government needs Elon more than he needs them.
Totally.
And he knows it and they know it. Elizabeth Warren can shut up like, well, we don't know if there's a conflict of interest. See, Mama and Peepaw, when they were living on the reservation, there was a conflict of interest.
I love that she was sticking up for the United Healthcare shooter. Now I understand, and
oh, what an a-hole!
Bananas. And she was like, "Well, you can only push them so far." But when you understand, everybody who's embracing that line of analysis voted for Obamacare, which is the reason premiums are so high that they're on board with shooting CEOs.
Yes, and it's also the reason that healthcare companies are in the position they're in to make money. It's because of Obamacare. It was a bad system. It is a bad system. So it took a bad system, it made it worse, and now this is what you're stuck with. And you're beholden to a mentally ill 26-year-old who looks like Zac Efron?
I mean, really, though, with the brow.
Ugh.
And I love that, they're like, well, he's our, warrior against the elites. I'm like, his family's loaded.
Yeah, the most elite. Like, he went to every elite institution.
Guy, how many poor people do you listeners know that own 2 country clubs? not even belong to
You're
one.
not even allowed to drive by one.
This guy owned 2 of them. And an assisted living facility and everything else in between. Taking it to the elites is what we're doing.
I love grandma's like, well, you don't get a dime of my money if you commit a crime. Sorry, Luigi.
Oh, there that went.
Enjoy hell and your bad back.
Not a loser. Loser. And the people that support him. Loser. And they don't understand. And that's the thing. So my hope is, this is a blip. It's Mike Johnson's, but they should bounce him out of there. This is indefensible. Johnson? Yeah, it's indefensible.
I agree.
It's indefensible.
Put Gates back in there.
Where's Gates? Where's Gates when you need him, Newsmax? Let him out of his contract.
Did you read his quote today?
It's so great.
It was like, I did a bunch of womanizing and drinking and smoking, but I'm a different guy now. At least I didn't vote for a CR that's going to F over the entire country.
He did the old Tug McGraw. I blew 80% of my money on cocaine and women, and the rest of it I wasted. That's Matt Gaetz. Yeah, it's a fascinating one.
I love when our politics are so upside down. Matt Gaetz seems like the sensible person in the room.
Gaetz, you're all we have in this room. Somebody get him out of the karaoke contest on the boat with the Trump flag on it. And let's get him back to Washington. It's unbelievable, man. Listen, ho, ho, ho. We're not doing
Enough
this
of my nickname.
Yeah. We won't be doing this next. We'll be doing this in best of form.
Yeah, I'll be doing Oingo Boingo in Carson City, Nevada next year.
The rent don't pay itself. Kennedy's coming back to the Nugget.
Woo!
Guys, I'm going to be at the Hawkins Amphitheater June 6th. You know who hasn't promoted that show once? Me.
Oh, Jim.
You know what it was? Because I had like the Fox thing to promote, the night of comedy. You know, loves you, by the way. Loves you. Corolla loves you.
Oh, Adam's amazing.
I know. So Adam is a great joke. Great Corolla joke, guys. You want to hear it?
Yes.
He's like, wearing Crocs is like having a guy give you a BJ. He's like, feels great until you look down. A Night of Comedy premieres on Fox Nation January the 9th.
You have to watch every moment of it.
It's going to be great. I miss you already, boo. Ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas, Jim, to you and the whole Fela clan.
There she goes.
Get her out. Get her out of here.
He's the most talented man on the radio, but he needs your help.
We all know somewhere underneath all of that bright color, there's a man who's not right.
This is Fox Across America with Jimmy Fallon.
You're listening to Fox Across America with Jimmy Fallon. For these stories and a lot more, log on to newstalkflorida.com. News, information, and talk. News Talk 1040 WHBO.
This is how we do it.